Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth. What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish, and today I wanted to talk mainly about how do you deal with major losses or losses in general in trading. All right, so this is all a mindset thing. So trading is all pretty much 90% mental, 10% skill. And this came up from the Discord literally today. So today's April 17th. And one of the wonderful members had this question. Basically said, hey, keeping it a buck, and I'm not going to say how much they had or how much they lost. I don't like to talk about like money like that, but this is more about like, what do you do? Right. But basically they're saying, oh, I had this much money in my account. Now I'm down pretty much half of my account after over leveraging a couple times and staying in too long, taking big L's. So trying to work the psychological part and build the account back up, but they feel like their mind is like racing. They feel like they're not there. Okay. And then a couple other people in the Discord had mentioned, hey, been there, started with this much, went all the way down to this much, and now I'm double what I had even before. Okay, just staying with the Discord and watching these videos to kind of get the mindset and learning the mindset that you need to get to the next level. So what is that mindset? Okay, because the question was, hey, the person said, hey, well, how do you navigate trading when you're down that much? I'm not gonna lie, it feels like being down that much makes it feel like trading is not for me. So let's like talk about this. And while I talk about this, let me have something for you to actually look at. Okay. So the first thing that you want to understand when you are trading is that trading is a professional sport. If you just start trading, there's no reason to fund your account with a ton of money. Okay, because the first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to risk all that money, and you don't even know how to trade in the beginning. Okay, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing to not know how to trade. It's not like, oh, you don't know how to trade, stop trading. Like, no. It's, hey, you don't know how to trade yet, be careful, okay? Kind of like if you were playing in your first game, NBA game of basketball, you don't really know how to play yet, watch out, LeBron James is going to pack your shot, okay? You want to first learn how to dribble, how to get around him, and then you can start shooting, okay? You want to be careful when you first start. So understand what it means to trade options, because we trade options, we talk about options a lot here. And if you're trading options is a zero-sum game, which basically means if you lose, that someone else is winning your money. If they lose, you're winning their money. Okay, but you can only lose what you put in, which is why it's very important not to risk too much, because options are leveraged. Okay, understand what it means to trade options. Options are leveraged, which basically means whatever you put in. A leverage system is if you put in a little bit, you'll get a lot out. All right, I want to pull up something for you guys to watch. All right, so you don't have to look at my face. Here we go. We're gonna go here, share the screen, boom, and a bam. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen so you guys have something to watch instead of looking at me. All right, and we're gonna go here, and we'll just go to this workout vlog. Boom, and a boom. All right. Anyways, so basically, like I said, understand what it means to trade options. Options is a zero-sum game. You can only lose what you put in. All right. You can only lose what you put in. But what you put in, you need to be willing for that to go to zero. So the biggest thing that will solve everybody's issues, this is like, you can turn off the video after this. Like, stop watching the video. But basically, if you put in a certain amount, and if I told you, hey, that amount is going to go to zero, if that makes your heart drop or your stomach hurt, you need to downsize. Okay. So for instance, if you said, hey, I'm going to put 20, if I tell you, hey, put 20K into that trade, and that 20K can go to zero. Because when you're trading, it's possible. It can go to zero. It's very possible. And if you trade options, it can happen extremely, extremely quickly. So you need to understand that what you put in, you need to accept the risk of it going to zero. So if 20K is too much, then what if I said, hey, just put 500 into this trade. If it goes to zero, how would you feel? And you tell me, oh, well, I mean, $500, that's really nothing compared to my 100K account. Then, okay, that's how much you need to be putting into a trade. Okay. At least in the beginning. And if you tell me, hey, I have a 25K account I'm trying to get it up, but I keep losing, I'm listening to you, but you're telling me like, oh, well, I'm putting in 10K or 5K. That's a lot of your account. Are you willing for that 10K to go to zero? No, because then you're down from 25K to 15K, and now you can't trade margin anymore. Okay, so that's the first thing. Understand that whatever you put in can go to zero, and you can only lose what you put in. So when people tell me, "Hey, I lost a large amount of my account," well, you saw it. I'm doing the $500 account challenge. You see, I lost a lot of my account 3 times already, and the reason is I'm over leveraging, and I know that. I know, hey, I'm putting in way too much because whatever I put in, it can go to zero, and I need to understand that. So I'm gonna cut that out so that the account is not going back so much all the time. Okay, but when the opportunity is there, again, this is the next part that I'm coming to, is trading is about opportunity. So you're not supposed to just trade every day, or you're not supposed to try to throw money at everything. Okay, and a lot of people are throwing big money at a lot of just trash setups. You only need to be throwing in those big amounts when the opportunities there. For instance, today, United Healthcare had horrible earnings, and they said that the company was going to lose a ton of money, blah, blah, blah. So when you see news and the chart is supporting that, and there's just so much evidence that it's going to go in the direction you think. So United Health was supposed to go down. Well, that's when you throw in a lot of money. You can YOLO your account on those, because there's just so much evidence that the stock is going to be going down. Then you'll go and put in money at that time. But trading is about opportunity. You don't trade every day. You only trade quality setups. Okay. Now, the next part of this whole thing about, hey, how do you stop losing, or how do you deal with losing, is you need to be in a state of gratitude. You need to understand that these losses are just going to help you to get to the next level. What do winners do? Okay, there's this quote that I'm going to share in the Stocks and Coffee this week on winners. So the world doesn't remember those who quit. Winners are people who have failed and failed miserably. They've failed big. They lost big. They lost bad. They've lost, and even after embarrassment, they've persevered. Okay, they've persevered, and they've kept going through what they're going through. And they're just people who just never quit. So winners are just people who never quit. So you only lose when you quit. Okay, and you can only learn from those losses. That's why we always say, hey, L's don't stand for losses. L's stand for lessons. All right. But this quote says, the world doesn't remember those who quit. It remembers those who refused to surrender. Every time you stumble, remind yourself. Okay. So remind yourself that, yeah, you might take these big losses, but the matter of fact that you're taking these big losses, and the fact that you're saying, oh, I keep taking these big losses because I over leverage. Well, you know what your losses are coming from. That's the best part. The worst part is if you're like, oh, I keep losing big, and you don't know where they're coming from. That would be scary. But the fact that you know where they're coming from, the answer is right there. I'm over leveraging. Stop over leveraging. So it's just that simple. And the hard part is taking action that is simple. That's the hard part about trading. It's really going to expose you to yourself. So if you're the type of person who makes promises to yourself and you keep breaking those promises, for instance, you say, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna set my alarm for 6 a.m. I'm getting up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. comes around, you're like, oh no, you hit snooze. You're like 6:30. 6:30 comes, boom, 7, boom. So it exposes you to yourself. You don't keep promises to yourself. So when it comes to trading, and you're realizing, oh man, I'm over leveraging. I told myself I wasn't gonna do it. Well, that's exposing you to yourself that you don't keep promises to yourself. So start keeping promises to yourself in other areas of your life. You need to kind of keep the same disciplines in other areas of your life. Okay. So that's another part. But another part of this is the law of reversibility. So some people think that, oh, once I get the big trade, then I'll feel good. But I have a video on the law of reversibility where it talks about, well, if you feel good, the good trades will come to you. So wake up and just get in that state of gratitude, of feeling good. Think about everything you already have, and you will see how great and how easy things will come to you. Okay, you'll see how easy things will come to you. All right, we have three more things to talk about. One thing that I talked about in the Discord was perspective. Okay, perspective. So perspective is everything. So as long as you have money to trade, then you can trade. Okay, as long as you have money to trade, you can still trade. And the thing is, a lot of people want to get rich quick, but you have to remember that right now it's 2025. We're in April. We're only 4 months in. There's 8 months left to trade. That's insane. There's so much time left in the year to trade. Not only that, but depending, like if you're like 70 years or older, or 7 years or younger. I mean, 70 years or younger. You have so much life left to still trade. So you don't have to get rich today. Understand that. Okay, so you don't have to be YOLOing your account, because even if you saw with the $500 account, I took the 500 to 8K in 2 weeks. So that's like way over like 11, 12x. That's like, what is it? I don't know. Like that's way over 12x. Okay, over 15x pretty much. So you have time to do this, and it didn't take that much size, as you saw. Okay, perspective, and then understand that understand where your thoughts were when you lost. That's the big part. Documenting where were my thoughts when I lost. So for me, I know my thoughts were like, oh man, I need this money now. Like I'm greedy. Like I need a win today. Like everyone's looking at me. I need to make these big trades. I need to make them happen now. And I need to be real about that. Okay, understand where my thoughts were. And I need to do the complete opposite. Feel relaxed. Understand that there is no rush. Okay, be in that abundant and gratitude mindset. And really understand you don't have to get rich today. And the question is, are you broke? No, you got food, right? You got food on the table. You have your car. You can pay the bills. And if you really are broke, you don't want to be trading. Okay, you don't want to be trading right now. You want to get I always say this: get 2 to 3 jobs, stack your money, take care of your business, and then the money that you put into trading needs to just be extra money you kind of just don't care about. All right. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today in terms of how do you deal with losses and how do you prevent them. This is it. Okay, this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed like the vlogs in the background as well. But yeah, it's your boy, Mr.